Hey guys, your workout for today will be 4 rounds of 3 movements. Each of the movements you'll be performing for 40 seconds of work followed by 20 seconds of rest. In the first minute, we'll be going for as many backpack ground to overheads as we can, second minute as many lunges as we can, and third minute as many Russian twists as we can. Our fourth minute will be an entire minute of rest. We are going for 4 rounds of this. Your workout ends at the 16-minute mark. The warm-up will consist of 3 rounds of 5 backpack ground to overheads, 6 lunges, and 8 Russian twists. For the backpack ground to overhead, you are bringing the backpack from the floor to the overhead position with your elbows locked out in one fluid motion. Keep your back nice and flat and avoid rounding it. For your lunges, take a step forward until your opposite knee touches the ground, before driving through the front heel back to a standing position. If you require assistance, you can push off your knee or reduce the range of motion. Your Russian twists will be done with your feet off the floor, reaching over to either side of you, twisting at the waist. Scaling options would include reducing the range of motion or placing your heels on the ground. Onto your 5 backpack ground to overheads. And onto your lunges. Here we have a scaling option. For additional assistance, you can use a stable chair to push off. Further scaling for your Russian twists can be to perform the movement on a chair. Options include lifting your feet off the floor as well. This round, we will be performing all the movements as prescribed. This concludes your warm-up. Grab a quick sip of water and get ready for the workout. Getting ready for your workout in 3, 2, 1 and go. Here we are starting with 40 seconds of backpack ground to overhead. Ten more seconds. And rest. Next up, 40 seconds of lunges. In 3, 2, 1 and go. Try and keep your torso upright while doing your lunges. Avoid excessive bending of the waist. And rest. Getting ready for your Russian twists. You are going in. 3, 2, 1 and go. Lifting up those heels off the floor. You are going to be touching the ground on either side of you. Keep your core nice and engaged to help you maintain your balance. And rest. And next up, we have a full minute of rest. Alright, getting ready for our second round. Back to our backpack ground to overheads in 3, 2, 1 and go. If your backpack is too heavy, a scaling option could be to make it lighter by removing some of the items inside. You can also be using a water bottle instead. And rest. 3, 2, 1, and going into 40 seconds of lunges. Like we did in the warm-up, if you have to, you can scale by pushing off that front knee with your hands. If you are unable to lunge all the way down to the ground, you can reduce the range of motion by taking a smaller step. Three, 2, 1, and into our Russian twists. In this round, we will be scaling such that we are not reaching for the floor, but just twisting side to side. Also, we will be placing our heels on the ground. For further scaling options, you can perform your Russian twists on a chair. And rest. Once again, we're going to be having a full minute of rest. Use this time to recover, catch your breath, and grab a sip of water. Three, 2, 1, and go. Back into those backpack ground to overheads. A common fault for this movement would be to excessively round your back. You want to keep your core nice and tight, squeeze those shoulder blades together, and keep your back nice and flat. And rest. Three, 2, 1, and into your lunges. Make sure you take a large enough step for your lunges. If your step is too small, your front heel will lift off the ground, and that is not ideal. Try and maintain your balance as best as you can during these lunges. We don't want to be collapsing on either side. And rest. 3, 2, 1, and go. We are starting off our Russian twist on the chair with our feet off the floor. If this is too difficult for you, you may just place your feet back on the ground. Three, 2, 1, and rest. Once more, having a full minute of rest here. Three, 2, 1, and go. Last round. Instead of using a backpack for our ground to overheads, we are demonstrating the movement here with a water bottle. The principle stays the same, bringing that object from the ground to an overhead position in one fluid motion. A common fault would be to have a lack of full extension at the top, having your arms in front of your head. At the top of the movement, you want to have your biceps next to your ears. And rest. Three, 2, 1, and onto our lunges. Here we are using a chair to assist us. Make sure the chair is nice and stable, something you can really use to push yourself off. If with the chair you are unable to lunge all the way down to the ground, just reduce that range of motion. Three, 2, 1, and going for our final round of Russian twists. one last minute of rest. After this, we'll be going straight into our cool down. So if you have to, pause the video, grab a quick sip of water, and join us again. This concludes your workout. Next up, we have a short core finisher before we end off with some stretching. For our cool down, we will be performing 3 rounds of 30 seconds of flutter kicks and 30 seconds of rest. 3, 2, 1, and go! Here we have 3 variations of the flutter kick. Level 1 would be the easiest, with your hands underneath your hips, head flat on the ground while performing your flutter kicks. Level 2 is slightly more difficult, with your hands by your side and your body in a hollow position, shoulder blades off the floor. You are then going to perform your flutter kicks like this. And rest. Three, 2, 1, and go. For level 3, you're going to have your hands above your head, shoulders off the ground, and perform your flutter kicks. Remember to keep your knees locked out, point your toes away from yourself, and for levels 2 and 3, really get those shoulder blades off the floor. Three, 2, 1, and rest. Three, 2, 1, and go. Now level 3 is the hardest because you have the weight of your arms furthest away from your core, making your job of holding that hollow position even more challenging. Three, 2, 1, and rest. You have 30 seconds to rest. After this, we will be going into some stretches. For our first stretch, sitting on the floor with your hands behind you, you're going to cross one leg over, walk your hands in, bringing your chest as close to your shin as possible. This is stretching out your glutes. And changing sides. Next up, we're going to be stretching out our hamstrings. So straightening out your right leg, you're going to reach for that leg with both hands while tucking your left leg in. You should feel the stretch along your hamstrings. And change. Next up, stretching out our quads, going into a kneeling position. You are going to place your hands behind your feet and pop your hips off your heels. You should feel the stretch along the front of your thighs. From here, placing your hands in front of your knees, you're going to kick your legs back, looking up towards the ceiling, stretching out those abs. Alright, sitting back on our heels, I want you to really press those palms into the ground. You should feel the stretch along your legs. From here, standing up, swinging one arm across your body, you're going to place your other arm behind that elbow, pulling your arm in as close to you as you can. You should be feeling the stretch along the outside of your shoulders. And change. And finally, one last stretch for our triceps, placing your hand behind your head. You are going to use that other hand to press down on the elbow, stretching out your triceps. And change. And that is all for today. Thank you guys so much for joining me for this workout, and see you next time. Till then, stay safe, stay healthy.